All right, good morning, gang. We have the tradingology.com trading room for January 19th starting up. We got Dan here joining you. And as always, we do have our great friend Dave joining us from the Strong Market team. So good morning, Dave. Good to see you on a late start to the week of a Tuesday.
Yeah, it feels kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's like, what day is it? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Oh, yeah. But the futures market's been open and they were closed and they were open again. I was watching them closely to see what entails since we had closed markets. So not a ton of action. It was kind of boring. I actually did some trading last night after the reopen. So I'm happy to not be looking hard for trades this morning. And looking at these internals, it's like, holy cow. We started off the bat almost positive 2,000 and we're just about bouncing off the zero line here.
Yeah, just a stair step down on those. We've been talking about the internals for a few weeks now, how lackluster they've been. And we got that again this morning.
Good morning, Andre. Good to see you. Andre's our new chief Slack channel participant. Good to see you.
Good.
He's making good use of the new target hunter strategy. So I love it, Andre. Appreciate your feedback on everything too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We're stair stepping down on the issues and the volume was starting to move down. Looks like it might be trying to take a little turn up. We'll see what happens here as we have Grandma Yellen testifying and talking to go big.
You know, she's it's kind of interesting because she's at the Fed, right? Now she's going to the Treasury, so she's really marrying the two agencies together. And
how long do we think it'll take until they officially say they're just one? I don't know. And what we have to reopen the Federal Reserve Act to make a few modifications for that, I would assume.
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, she has an office at the Treasury. If she gets appointed, it's a pretty simple thing to just like, hey, there's an empty office over there. Yeah, Fed, yeah, just move in. I mean, it's not going to be hard.
If you didn't follow, yeah, they are doing confirmation hearings right now for Janet Yellen to be the new Treasury Secretary, who's the nomination. You probably heard it, but just in case you hadn't, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to say anything dramatic. I mean, she's pretty seasoned. She's not going to let the people who are interviewing her, kind of stump her at all. She's going to be pretty measured. She's going to reiterate what Powell has already said, that the Treasury needs to step up, government needs to step up and go big on any kind of a economic package here.
And that was literally the words that she used, wasn't it? I think I saw that in an article where it was, she said to go big, in quotes. That's what it was exactly.
Yeah, and certainly if she's the Treasury Secretary, she is going to be the one who will go big.
There she is testifying today. I don't want actual video, so don't start playing. Yeah, so that's the big news this morning, is watching that. Trump's last full day of presidency, getting ready for inauguration tomorrow. They have what did I see? 25,000 troops have now gathered to protect everything.
Yeah, 3 times the normal.
Yeah, it's on Bloomberg. It's everywhere. Not a whole lot going on the calendar. One long-term purchasers announcement later this afternoon. Yesterday was the bank holiday. Then we have President-elect Biden speaking tomorrow for the first time. Well, 9 a.m. They'll still call him elect at that time because inauguration's later in the afternoon. Then he'll officially be President Biden.
Yeah, and Trump is also holding an exit ceremony.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's holding an exit ceremony with a military band, a military parade, and a 21-gun salute.
Gotcha. I did see that. I think he had to officially request it because the military escort is like standard. And I had heard from someone saying that they were denying it. It's like, what? How do you deny that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you must have got that straightened out. Look at this one. Later this week, I just saw this pop on my screen here. Thursday's unemployment claims. The forecast is for 925,000 more.
Yeah, wow. So 900.
Almost another million again.
It dropped down. The lowest was like in the 700s. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Every single week, 500,000 to 1 million people are being unemployed.
So that's just the news headlines we're watching there. Yeah, big little, look at that. That's a big bar there for a turnaround. Interesting. So let's see what the futures did with that. YM did a little reversal. I was looking at, interesting too, in the setup on the indexes. The SRs are definitely set up for bearish, but the bulls are trying to take back over. We see some hurting on both sides currently.
Yeah, we had bearish hurting on Friday, so I'm not sure if that's going to lead anywhere or we're going to have an orphan there. But
pretty surprising with barely any gap with an extra day off. Usually there's a larger gap, but so yeah, it was a boring weekend as far as
well,
so that's a good.
We opened Sunday night with the futures, Dow futures down about 100 points.
Yeah, they definitely fluctuated, but it recovered again. So it looks like it was boring when you look at this, right? So I was surprised at that.
Yeah, the ES hit one handle below the low on Friday, and thought it was going to, continue, but it didn't. It just kind of reversed there, went back up higher.
Yeah, we'll squeeze that guy over so you guys can see that.
Yeah, yesterday was very boring.
We're way down. So the futures were actually open during the day, but that was it. The regular market was closed.
Yeah, and I think they closed early. I think they closed at 1 o'clock or something.
Yep. That's one of those odd ones where they close at 1, but then they reopen at 5 again because that's what time they open. Or 6 for you, 5 for me.
Yep.
And then it just jumped right up. It was like, okay.
Yeah, they took right off. Nothing seems to bother this market. There is absolutely zero short interest out there. I don't know if you got a chance to see, there's an absolutely fantastic video that the Northman Trader puts out. Do you ever watch him?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Really, really good video. I highly suggest everybody watch this one, and I'll put the link in the chat.
Perfect.
But you definitely need to go check this out.
Yeah, he does some nice, some good analysis for sure. Have you guys watched him before? You guys know who we're talking about there? Northman Trader. I think that's what it is, Northman, right?
Yep, Northman Trader. And basically, nobody's short. I mean, the entire market is long, and that, and so he says, that's when you really have an off balance like that. A lot of times, what will happen is people who are short when the market goes down, they have to cover their positions, so they have to buy them back, and that creates some price stability when the market does go down. But with nobody short, there's nobody to cover any shorts. So you're not buying anything back. And that's what causes markets like in March and then, back in the flash crash and all that kind of stuff. By the way, did you see that video? Did you watch that video on the flash crash?
That video is amazing. We need to find Nav.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I know. I want to find that guy and pick his brain.
And I'm curious too. I was watching, there's always the scuttlebutt of, was it actually him or they used him as a scapegoat? But yeah, that's the thing is people don't understand is especially overnight and where you can actually manipulate the futures markets and that will create the domino effect.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that they talk about the spoofing and this and that. I'm like, I see that all the time. Why is it illegal for him, but not everybody else?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys haven't checked that out, hit us up in the channels. We'll give you a link to, there's a video around Navinder Singh was his name, who they claim is the creator of the flash crash in 2010. And it's a really interesting story. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a link to the Northman Trader. I'll put it in the Slack channel too.
Perfect. Any questions from you guys? We got a decent crowd in here today, so we're about halfway through today. So let us know if you got anything that's burning, any hot questions you got, or anything you guys are seeing that we're not talking about yet.
I did post a couple something in the room over the weekend, which is my 3 trading rules. And if you guys didn't see that, go check that out. And I did do a video. This is another trade that I typically do when things get really, really stretched the way they are. I think it's pretty interesting. You guys will really like it.
Nice. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it's about an hour long. Um, didn't cut too much out. I might cut out the beginning because you guys already know who I am, but I don't know. I kind of went into a little bio and stuff, but I'll definitely give you the link and you can upload it to the members site.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you. What do we got shaking here? Yeah, a little recovery. Chopping back through all the moving averages. VIX trade is, let me take a look. It's up on the day, overall down right now. It's close to even right now. If we look at the VIX chart here, or the VXX chart, excuse me, where we see it bounced up a little bit. So it was up, the VXX was up a little bit, now it's trading back down. So the trade itself is literally close to zero right now. So it's dead even right now, which does happen, and it'll most likely trend back down and close it when we get to profits.
Yeah, we just need to let that time to expiration work in our favor. Get that premium start to decay and a little bit of a movement. With no movement in the VIX, it definitely will work in our favor.
Yeah, we see the movement down here. This green candle is going to turn into a red one in a second because it's just barely at even right now. So as that's tracking down, the trade's going up. That's why it's profitable for the day. It's up about $40 on the day right now, Andre.
Yeah, so we've got the inauguration going on tomorrow. It's pretty interesting. Oh, Janet is not in the Senate. She is testifying from home.
Oh, of course. Just like what's his name? Paul does the report from his kitchen. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was in the kitchen.
We were just waiting for people to walk in and get like a bowl of cereal or something. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Or his dog come up and lick him. Yeah. He doesn't look like a dog person, though. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, there's going to be dogs back in the White House. That was a big hot news story last night. I don't know how that makes news, but I like dogs. We have a dog, but I don't know how it's national news that there's going to be dogs back in the White House.
Oh, Biden's got dogs?
Yep. One or two at least.
Okay. Gotcha. So, yeah, not much I think everybody's kind of like holding their breath and waiting for the inauguration. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll see a pop higher in the markets. We'll go up another 5,000 points, or we'll drop 5,000 points. But the kind of volatility that we've seen lately, it's a little bit higher than it was, but not a lot.
You know what we should do? We know they're already talking about the first package that Biden wants to do is 1.9 trillion, right? Everyone saw that. That's on the table.
Yeah.
It's not a done deal yet. They could go either way. It's not law yet. We should take a bet, maybe not a bet, just a prediction on how many trillions we think we'll have in stimulus for 2021. If we start at 1.9, how high can we go? Because I got a feeling we're going to have, I'll say 3 packages in all. This will be the first one, and I bet there's 2 more to come.
I was thinking pretty close to that. I was thinking 4, so close to 8 trillion.
8. So 1.9. So 8 more or 6 more on top of this potential. We'll call it 2. 1.9.
We'll call it 2, and then another 3 after this, so 4 altogether for 8 trillion total.
Okay. We'll see where we end the year. I got a feeling we're going to hit that double digit. I'm going to go for 10.
Okay.
We're going to make history. Everything's making history.
That's for sure. I don't think there's anything. I mean, this is probably one of the most interesting periods in the market in the last 10 years since the end of the financial crisis. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's not just the US, it's worldwide.
Right. There, and I'll have to find some for tomorrow. I don't have my fingertips right now, but there's some amazing charts that people have, showing the comparisons between the great financial crisis and where we are now, and how there's no signs of a bubble and there's no signs of any trouble. I don't know what anybody's talking about. It's like it's staring at you right in the face. It's just amazing what we're doing right now and how it's expected to just keep going.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if you watch the Northern Traders video, he does a really good job of kind of contrast in comparison. And he doesn't, he mentions the call put ratio, which is at the lowest level, like 20, 30 years. But he also took the total short interest of the NYSE and charted it. And it also is at the lowest level in like 40 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, everybody's on one side of the trade.
Well, and the best one I like is our friend George brought this one up. I'll pull this one over quick. This is one I did have. Spending versus taxes coming in. How can this not be a problem? That's just ridiculous. It's so bad you have to laugh.
Yeah, it's just so bad. Oh my God.
Here's the GFC where it was about 20% and there was no tax revenue coming in. We're doing the same thing now. And spending's between about 50% on this chart for a year-over-year change. And that's before the 1.9 trillion makes it in there.
Yeah, and that's before the 1.9 trillion. So yeah.
That's nuts. But yeah, nothing to see here. Everything will be fine.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's almost like a countdown to a launch of some sort, and like a spaceship, the anticipation of just the market completely collapsing. It's just, everybody thinks that the Fed is going to prop it up, but, the Fed really is, it says it has tools. It really doesn't. The only thing it's doing is buying treasuries, and they're buying stuff. That's it. And they're putting them into reserve accounts that they can't even access.
Yeah, this is them all buying, right? I was thinking about it yesterday too. Again, this always just blows my mind. Whereas, can you imagine running their bank account? Oh, we're down negative how many trillions now? Oh, it's okay, Mr. Bank. It'll be fine. We'll pay that back.
Yeah, right.
You know your account, and to see that balance, or like as a business, right? Yeah, we run a deficit. We spend more than we take in, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
It crossed my mind looking at my bank accounts and doing stuff this week, and it's like, boy, it'd be nice if I could sit here at a massive negative number and nobody would care.
Yeah, it's like, I'll print some more. I'll do something. It's no big deal.
It just blows my mind.
Yes, well, evidently they have privileges that we don't.
True. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to use that U word, but it's going to be an interesting year. That's for sure. It feels like we're sitting on a time bomb, or it's just going to go literally to crazy town, even worse.
Yeah.
You mentioned your book on profiting during inflation, and I began reading that this week, and I got my copy, and I'm loving that book.
Yeah.
To read.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And also, we've got a wealth masterclass coming up, don't we?
Yes, I believe it was the 27th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So week from this Thursday, I think. Yeah, week from this. No.
Next Wednesday.
Is it next Wednesday?
The 27th, or is it the 28th?
I think it's the 28th. I always do it on Thursdays, but I don't know, maybe. But in any case, I've got some pretty good information to share with you guys in the Wealth Masterclass. You don't want to miss out.
That's what the book is. It's How to Profit. You got it sitting right next to you there?
Yep.
Mine's upstairs. How to Invest and Profit.
How to Invest Your Money and Profit from Inflation by Morton Schulman. The beginning of the book is great. He goes through a lot of the history. And then at the end, I mean, he talks about investing in a lot of different things. And the one thing that they didn't have back in the 70s and 80s was a lot of ETFs to invest in. And so this was published originally in 1979. And he invested in futures. So he invested, and so I would not, there are alternatives, and we're going to talk about those alternatives to investing in futures to participate in the inflation trade when it starts to really take off. In the Wealth Masterclass, we'll go through some of the really neat options that you have now instead of futures. Because futures contracts, especially in agriculture, resources, metals, and all that kind of stuff, can be very volatile, and you don't want to hold those. over a long period of time. So there's alternatives now that are great.
I put up a link just for the Amazon, and it's not an affiliate link, so don't worry, anyone that's thinking about it. It'll be in the notes, but that is, it's just a nice little paperback. About 200 pages, give or take, if I remember right.
Mhm.
And it's a super easy read. The guy's great. But yeah, as Dave mentions, he wrote it in the 80s or like 1980, I think.
1979 was the first issue, and then he kind of updated it throughout the early 80s.
So yeah, the theories are all sound as we approach a potential massive inflation period again. So it's good information. And yes, watch it. There will be a note going out for a reminder for all the Wealth Masterclass members. And just to know that anyone watching that is part of that, if you got an email saying your course is expired, do not worry. That was just a glitch in the system where it was an annual thing that was for a zero referral or renewal. So you haven't lost anything, no problems there. Everybody that was in it is still in it. And all the course content is still available. And we will be having that next week for the next meetup. So look for that email coming out for reminders.
Oh, Janet's talking about the DXY.
Our famous DXY. Tell her to stop talking about it because she's making it go down.
Yeah.
It's honest. It can take a little pull back here, then just continue back up through 91. It's on its ride up, so it's looking good.
One of the interesting things, I don't know if you listen to like Jeff Snyder, and if you read the Hoisington report by Dr. Lacey Hunt, he's really, really, really on the side of the trade of lower interest rates rather than higher interest rates. He says inflation is coming, but it's not here yet. And so he's really predicting lower rates before they start to go higher. And when that happens, we're going to have the last deflationary push lower. And then after that, inflation could run, they're talking 2, 4, 6% a year. Back in the 70s, in the late 70s, mid 70s, it was like 4%. And people were really scared actually at 4% inflation. That's a lot. And if we get that again, we're going to have a boom in commodities like we haven't seen. I mean, we have seen commodities rise in price since March, but only because of the supply chain constraints. But that's not the inflation they're talking about. We're going to get a super inflation probably after we hit zero on the 30 years. So that's kind of what I'm kind of looking for. We'll go into more depth in the Wealth Masterclass, but this is just a little bit of a rebound here, kind of a pandemic high that is precipitated by a kind of a euphoria of getting the vaccines out and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a little bit of optimism, and that's why rates are going a little bit higher, but it ain't gonna last.
Yeah, just watching these, it's going to be amazing. Maybe between the 1 month and 30 year, it's going to be 1/10 of a decimal point to try and make that yield curve. Can you imagine that? Like 0.01, 0.02, 0.03.
Yeah, it's gonna be tiny. The yield curve is just gonna flatten right out. At least that's my opinion at this point, my view at this point. Could be wrong, of course.
Well, reality will rear its ugly head sooner or later, and it'll just be interesting to see what they blame it on when it happens. Because they blamed this downturn on COVID. It was going to happen whether COVID happened or not.
Yeah, we had the inversion of the yield curve back in October, November, and September of last year, 2019.
2 years ago now.
Yeah, I know. It's like 2 years ago now. So that typically precedes a recession, and all of a sudden we had the pandemic. Oh, it's the pandemic's fault. It's not the yield curve.
Yep. Well, will they blame it on a second and third and fourth new string? We'll see. Or if there's something else that they blame it on when it all topples down again, because it will.
Yeah.
Reality will come back.
It will. Yellen headline, believe in fair progressive tax code. You know what that means?
Run for the hills.
Yeah. taxes are going higher, and they can't even get the tax revenue now. I mean, like the chart you just showed, they can't get tax revenue yet. And they're going to raise taxes, and they want to increase the national minimum wage to $15, which is going to hurt even more small businesses.
Yeah, and there's a million more people every week that are unemployed. So where's that tax revenue coming from?
Yeah,
They're paying them to stay home, and then they're not working, and now they claim that everything's fine. Everything's not fine, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, we will tell.
All right.
Anyway, guys.
Yeah,
have
I'll
a
probably
great-
call it for today.
Yeah, have a great day, everybody. Dan, good to see you. It's kind of, I hate these long weekends, you know?
I know. You never know what they're going to do. At least we survived a long one and didn't gap up or down by 1,000 points. That's what I was wondering what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll see you guys in the channels, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Have a great day, guys. See you.
Bye-bye.